Her love brought him back to life. Dick, why are you doing this? Proving that love please stop! Is more powerful than death.
So, earlier in July, I made a video explaining my love for the Stitch character in the first movie in comparison to some not-so-awesome Nostalgia Critic opinions.
It looks like Vegas! Why does it look like Vegas? And it's like, because Vegas looks like Greece, you fucking...
I'm actually the rare person who's still a Nostalgia Critic fan, so I'm gonna go out of my way to at least try to not bring up Doug Walker in this video. Okay, cool. Let's see if I make it. Anyway, despite the comments talking about how emotional this movie, or just the video in general is, this movie isn't the one that makes me cry. It was the other Stitch movie that I had on DVD 20 years ago, holy shit. Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch is a Glitch, is a follow-up to the first movie that was released after the movie Stitch, and while the animated series was still running, but the movie is set after the first movie but before the series stuff. Everybody got that? That's some Five Nights at Freddy's lore timeline shit, and we're just gonna roll with it. Lilo and Stitch 2 was the Stitch movie for me as a kid. I didn't dislike the first one in any way, but I was obsessed with this movie for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. It's a bad omen for my life and what's to come. Fuck. You see, after Lilo's given a picture of her mother when she was her age, and as it turns out, Lilo's mom actually won the same hula contest that Lilo's currently in. Stitch is taking up photography, that's a vibe and all, I support it. Just don't go snitching, taking pictures of evidence.
You'll never be like your mom.
Oh shit, oh fuck. Who says that?
Okay.
That's it!
Show him!
Next time, flush the evidence.
She doesn't think she's able to do it. She thinks she's gonna let her down, so Stitch promises to help her perfect her hula. Problem is, something is wrong with Stitch.
Something's wrong, Mr. But your molecules need to be charged. No! What will become of my little monstrosity?
Is that doctorate legal?
Or let his family member fall to her painful, crushing death!
Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh yeah, Lilo's voice is different in this one. Instead of sounding like Chihiro, we get Coraline. It's a great trade-off. Davy Chase was voicing Lilo in the TV series, so instead of overworking the kid, they got her industry bestie, Dakota Fanning. I like it. I'm honestly only saying this because I didn't even notice it as a kid. Either she's that good or I just wasn't a very perceptive 4-year-old. Also, Stitch reverting to his old programming, being afraid of losing himself and what it would do to his loved ones. I don't know if this is way off, but it's a bit of a metaphor for relapsing, no? I'm still waiting for that one opinion I say in one of these videos to be way off that nobody agrees with me on. People start making multiple video essays about how I'm wrong. I've coined it as the Nostalgia Critic effect. Fuck!
But my mom was beautiful like an orchid and graceful like a wave. I'll never be like her.
13 minutes. That's how long it takes for this movie to get me. Alright, let's talk about it. Like I said, Lilo wants to win the hula like her mom, and she's afraid of letting her memory down.
I have to win the contest, just like Mom did. If I win, she'll know I'm good.
Hey, who left this bowl of onions here?
Anyone who's had to give a eulogy at a parent's memorial has felt what Lilo is struggling with. Hell, even just as a creative in general, it's hard to perform without all that ugly feeling that you won't be enough for them to be proud of you. Like I alluded to way back in the Your Lie in April video, it took me years to get back into writing and performing again. And at that point, it's just like I had to teach myself all over again. That's such an emotional and mature message for any kid's film, let alone a direct-to-DVD sequel. Disney sequels have a big problem of regressing their characters and not letting them grow or change. But this is a rare one where the exact opposite seems to happen. Everyone moves so naturally. A lot of kids' films deal with the issue of grief, but the feeling of being afraid to let that dead parent down or not living up to that version of them that lives in your head, like, damn, that's some Steven Universe shit right there. Oh no, I got the burps. Oh no, I got the burps. That's the worst. Don't eat before recording things.
We said we were gonna be good. I needed you, Stitch.
Stitch, good again.
But with everything Lilo's going through, it means that she doesn't catch on that there's anything wrong with Stitch at all. And as this movie goes on, she's disconnected to his plot completely. She doesn't see what's going on with Stitch on anything but a basic level. It's just like I said in the first movie's video. Both Lilo and Stitch share the same character arc in the first movie. They're want and need of Ohana as people try to keep it from them. But in the sequel, I think the same thing is happening. Okay, not the not letting my mom down thing. I'm sure Jumba is super proud of Stitch's photography, when he's not being a fucking snitch about it. But what I mean is both Lilo and Stitch seem to fear regressing in some way, of letting the ones they love down. Stitch's glitch regresses him back to the monster they told him he was in the first movie.
626 was designed to be a monster. What must it be like to have nothing?
Something I dig about this movie is just how close Lilo and Stitch are at this point. Stitch spends the whole movie not only protecting Lilo, but supporting her when she doubts herself. When her doubts of being good enough show, he goes out of his way to show her differently. When she can't think of a hula, he stays with her and tries to motivate her. It makes their inevitable fight sting that much more. This kind of thing plagued this era of kids' films. The main characters would fight over a dumb disagreement and you just know they'll reunite after. No, this shit feels real. I've been watching this movie since 2005 and I still buy that Lilo really won't forgive Stitch here. It feels like a real fight two siblings would have. Sometimes you're trapped in your own head and you don't notice that the people closest to you might be struggling as well. It's not that you look past it, you can't even see that they're hurting at all. It's like your brain won't let you until the shit blows up in your face and it's too late.
Something wrong with Stitch.
I know what's wrong with you. You're bad, and you'll always be bad.
This hurts, man. Like I said, I buy this fight. This is def some shit my siblings and me would fight like. Family fights get real, but I don't love how quick and how far Lilo turns on Stitch. In the first one, Stitch is a lot worse than he does in this. And she's the only one who had his back in that one. But you think she fucking hated this little guy in this movie. And again, I get it. When it comes to this type of anxiety and self-doubt, anyone can get it, but Jesus, it's kind of hard to watch. I don't know if this is the best time to bring this up, but David has this whole subplot about him getting cucked by Nani. I know this has nothing to do with anything, but if David doesn't care about not interrupting important parts of the movie, then I don't either.
Gotcha! Oh no, it's you! I mean, hi Nani, having a good day?
This movie's also funny as hell. There's some classic bits in here that honestly I forgot weren't in the first one.
I'm not touching you.
You're touching me!
Not touching.
I'm hula-less. I do also like the addition of the Hawaiian myths of Hikiaka and Lohiau being a representation of what's going on with Lilo and Stitch. This video could be an OSP-style explanation of that whole myth, but I don't have the time. But I do think it's a nice touch and really pulls everything in the story together.
And now there is no hope for my little creation. Jumba has failed family.
I still think the fact that the plot is about Stitch shorting out and dying is fucking nuts. But out of that, we get to see Jumba grow into more of a parental figure for Stitch. I like seeing how panicked he is, how much he cares in putting in the work to save 626. I made the joke before, but I'm sure Jumba is proud of his photography. His growth in being Stitch's creator is really nice to see. Again, even if it's a small moment like this, it's cool to see characters grow into this tight-knit ohana they all have for each other. That's so wholesome because...
Oh, David, I'm glad you're here.
Because I have a lot of...
options.
Options?
David, get a fucking hobby or something, my guy.
Because he's a fucking cuck. Because you're a fucking cuck, son.
Hey, did you know Chris Sanders also co-wrote Mulan? Try and find the Mulan references throughout the series, it's a lot of fun. Look at the way Stitch hugs his goodness chart. It's the one they introduced all the way back in the first movie. As the malfunction strips Stitch away from his identity and free will, he becomes more and more obsessed with his goodness chart. He's literally holding what little of himself he has left and bringing it around with him. He goes around town doing nice things to prove himself that he's better, but one situation outside of his control pushes him all the way back down to feeling like the things that they said in the original were true. What must it be like to have nothing? It gets to the point where Stitch just gives up. While he's out there trying to be the best version of himself for Lilo, there's no one there telling Stitch that he's enough. In fact, Lilo tears him down in this movie so much that shit, I'd blast myself to an isolated planet too. I almost don't know what to say about how this movie ends. I almost don't want to show it. If you haven't seen this movie yet, or just don't care about spoilers for a movie that's now 20 years old, fuck me. Pause the video and come back. If not, I'm ready.
Are you okay? Stitch?
No, Lilo. Too dangerous.
So this is where Lilo's hula becomes important again. The story of Pi'aka and Lohiao.
My hula is about an ancient friendship that proves love is more powerful than death. I'm sorry, Mom.
If you're paying attention to the story of Hi'iaka and her little love triangle with her sister Pele's Lohiao, you'll see the part of this story that Lilo is fond of. The idea that love is more powerful and everlasting than mortality.
Please be okay.
Can't imagine why that's so important right now.
Stitch, I'm so sorry. I kept saying how I needed you, but you needed me more. You're my Ohana, Stitch. And I'll always love you.
Stitch dies, and then...
Stitch, not bad. Stitch, fluffy.
The explanation is literally that Lilo loved Stitch so much that she brought him back from the dead.
How is it possible?
It's not.
And, like, hell yeah. My dad's still dead, and I guess I don't have magic on my side, I guess, but I appreciate the sentiment, movie. This ending still makes me an awful wreck, but not because Stitch dies. He doesn't. I cry because in all the times Disney saves the day because love conquers all, this was the one time where it felt like it really meant it. Fun fact, I watched this recently with my younger cousin who's never seen it, and I just told her that Stitch was gonna die at the end and let the fireworks begin. And yeah, it's evil, but before you critique me on how I entertain myself, remember that this is they, them, NSP talking here. We're besties. Anyway, I do suggest trying it. Find someone who's never seen Lilo and Stitch 2 and ruined their weekend. I don't know how they'll vibe with it, but you'll enjoy yourself. Trust me.
So Hi'iaka and Lohiao were reunited and are together to this day.